Beloved, have you ever wondered why life sometimes feels unbearably quiet, as though the heavens themselves are still, and your prayers float upward into a silence that does not answer back? It is in that silence, that long stretch of waiting where nothing seems to move, that God does his most extraordinary work. We imagine that divine power must always roar like thunder or blaze like lightning across the sky. But in truth, the greatest works of the Almighty are often hidden, veiled in the smallness of our daily hours, secreted away in the ordinary fabric of time where no one applauds and no one notices. We think silence means absence, but in the language of heaven, silence is a forge, and you, my friend, are the iron in the fire. The heat may feel relentless, the hammering unkind, but only in that furnace can you be shaped for what is coming. For God is not a careless craftsman. He wastes no blow of his hammer, no spark of his fire, no length of delay. Every ache, every pause, every unnoticed day is part of his hidden design, working something immeasurably greater in you than you dare to imagine. Consider the seed buried in the soil. From the surface it looks like death, like stillness, like nothing at all. If you were to peer into the ground with impatient eyes, you would cry out that it is wasted, that the seed is forgotten, swallowed by the earth. But we know better, do we not? We know the silence of the soil is not death, but the womb of life. Beneath the dark and unseen weight of earth, something sacred stirs. Roots dig downward, tender shoots curl upward, and in time the husk that fell into silence becomes the tree that shades the weary, the branch that bears fruit, the living witness to a patient miracle. So it is with you. Do not despise your buried seasons, for the hand of God is upon you there, shaping, growing, preparing you for a season when what has been hidden will break forth in glory. And oh, how often our impatient hearts cry for immediacy! We are children of hurry, worshippers of the now. We want the promise without the process, the crown without the cross, the light without the night. But God, in his infinite mercy, refuses to grant us such shallow victories. He knows that glory too soon would destroy us, that blessing without shaping would crush rather than lift us. So he waits, and in the waiting he works, and in the working he molds, and in the molding he prepares us for something beyond the scope of our small imaginations. What you see as delay, he sees as design. What you call silence, he calls symphony. The unseen shaping of your life is the very proof that he is preparing something worth waiting for. Imagine the sculptor at his marble. To the casual passerby, it may appear as though he is merely chipping stone, breaking and destroying. But the sculptor sees what no one else can see, the form within the rock. Each strike of the chisel, each fragment cast away, is not destruction but revelation. It is the slow unveiling of the image that already dwells within, waiting to be set free. You too are such a stone. The hammering may wound, the chiseling may sting, but God sees what is hidden in you. His blows are not random. His strikes are not cruel. They are purposeful, precise, and patient. You are being shaped into a vessel for something glorious, a bearer of a weight not of this world. And when the work is complete, you will not merely admire what he has done. You will realize you were always meant for it, that the masterpiece was hidden in you from the beginning. Do not be deceived into thinking that your silence is emptiness. In the quiet, God is teaching you the rhythm of trust, the melody of endurance, the harmony of hope. The world shouts its demands for noise and spectacle, but heaven trains its saints in the unseen orchestra of patience. In the night watches, when you feel alone, he is writing in your soul a song you will sing only when the dawn comes. And when it does, others will hear the depth of it and wonder how you learned such music. They will not know the silence that birthed it, the long nights of unseen shaping that formed its notes. Only you and God will know, and you will smile. For the silence that once felt like absence will be revealed as the presence of his careful hand. Look back over your life for a moment. Were not the hardest seasons also the ones that carved you deepest? Did not the very pains you wished away become the teachers you could not live without? Think of the heartbreaks that softened your pride, the disappointments that humbled your plans, the delays that deepened your prayers. Each one seemed, in its hour, to be meaningless, perhaps even cruel. Yet in hindsight, do you not see the thread of a greater design? Do you not perceive that God was shaping you through every one of them, fashioning you into someone capable of bearing more than you dreamed? If such was true then, why doubt it now? Why tremble in today's silence as though the same God has forgotten you? He has not. He is shaping you still, and something greater is coming. Even creation itself preaches this sermon. The mighty oak does not spring forth overnight, it grows ring by ring, season by season, through storms and stillness alike. The stars we gaze upon tonight burned their light for millennia before our eyes ever beheld them. Rivers carve valleys only through the patient wearing of time. Nothing of worth in creation was rushed, nothing of value was birthed in haste. And if creation bears witness to such patient artistry, how much more will the Creator shape his children with care? He will not be hurried, for he knows the greatness he intends requires time, and if he takes his time with you, it is because the work he is doing in you is no small thing. There is a day, though you cannot yet see it, when what has been forming in the hidden places will be revealed. Just as the bud bursts into bloom after its long winter, so your life will break forth in a season appointed by God. You need not understand the timing, for the gardener knows when the flower must open. What matters is that you remain in his hands, yielding to his shaping, trusting that the silence is not abandonment but preparation. And oh, when the unveiling comes, when the quiet hours of hidden work give way to the dawn of revelation, you will see that nothing was wasted, nothing was lost. You will see that the silence was the womb of glory, and you were the vessel being shaped for it. If silence is the forge, then trials are the chisels by which God sculpts the soul. We tremble before them because they cut, they bruise, they strip away our comfort and expose our weakness. Yet, though our eyes see only the wound, his hand is steady, his vision sure. The blows that seem cruel are not sent to destroy but to shape. For what is a trial, if not the sacred tool by which heaven fashions strength out of fragility, humility out of pride, endurance out of fragility, and compassion out of selfishness? We are tempted to curse the chisel because it hurts, but the chisel is grace in disguise, and the pain is the very sound of transformation. Think of the blacksmith shaping a blade. He does not polish the iron while it is soft, for softness cannot hold an edge. He thrusts it into the fire, lets the heat sear through its core, then pulls it out to hammer with unyielding force. Again and again, the cycle repeats. Fire, hammer, water, strike, fire once more. To the blade, if it could feel, the process would seem like agony without purpose. Yet to the smith, every strike is a step toward strength. Every burn a preparation for the sharpness that will one day serve its purpose. So it is with the trials that press upon you. The fire is hot, the hammer heavy, the water cold, but God sees what you cannot. He sees not only what you are, but what you must become. And so he shapes you through the very trials you would flee if you could. Our hearts long for ease, but ease seldom makes saints. Ease cannot carve courage. Ease cannot train perseverance. Ease cannot refine faith. It is the valley that teaches us the strength of the shepherd's rod, the storm that proves the anchor holds, the midnight hour that teaches us to wait for dawn. Were it not for trial, faith would remain a theory, hope a vague word, endurance an untested wish. But through trial, faith becomes muscle, hope becomes anchor, endurance becomes treasure. That is why the scriptures speak not of avoiding trials, but of enduring them with joy, for they are not stumbling blocks to your destiny, but stepping stones, each one taking you closer to the form for which God is shaping you. And do you not know that even the Son was shaped by suffering? He who was perfect in nature yet walked through hunger, thirst, betrayal, and the weight of sorrows, not for his sake but for ours. If the path of perfection passed through trial, why should we, who are imperfect, expect anything less? To walk with God is to walk a road marked with valleys and peaks, and though the valleys may seem long, they are not empty of his presence. In fact, it is there you learn to cling to him most tightly, for the light shines brightest against the dark. and the hand of God feels most near when all else has failed. Consider the potter at his wheel. The clay is shapeless at first, soft, unformed. The potter wets his hands, presses the clay, spins it, pulls, pushes, flattens, stretches. To the clay, it must feel as though it is being pulled apart, pressed down, broken from the inside out. Yet only by that pressure does it begin to take shape. Only by that tension does it begin to resemble a vessel fit for use. And then, when the shape is finally formed, the potter does not set it aside as finished. No, it must enter the furnace. It must endure the fire to gain the strength required for its purpose. Without the fire, the vessel will crumble at the first touch of weight or water. But with the fire, it becomes strong, enduring, useful. My friend, the fire of your trial is not to break you but to strengthen you, to make you able to hold the weight of glory that is coming. You are clay in the hands of the potter, and though his shaping feels relentless, his aim is love, his vision sure. We must learn to see trials not as interruptions but as instruments. Too often we imagine that difficulty means God has turned away, but the opposite is true. Trials are the very proof of his attention, the evidence that he is not content to leave us as we are. He loves us too much to let us remain weak when he has designed us for strength, shallow when he has called us to depth, fragile when he intends us to bear his glory. The hammer of trial is heavy, but it is held by a hand of love, and every strike is measured, every blow purposeful. Not one moment of your trial is wasted, not one tear overlooked, not one cry unheard. Each one is gathered into the shaping plan of God, and when the work is done, you will see that even the sharpest cuts were guided by mercy. Do you see how trial makes you more than you were? Without hardship, we remain untested and easily broken, but let suffering touch us, and suddenly our prayers grow deeper, our faith sharper, our compassion wider. The one who has walked through fire learns how to comfort those who still burn. The one who has sat in darkness learns how to speak of light with authority. The one who has endured trial learns to stand, not in their own strength, but in the strength of God who carried them through. Trials, then, are not barriers but bridges. They connect who we are with who we must become, and they lead us into the likeness of Christ, who bore his own trial with unshakable trust. And though the trial may seem endless, it is not. The blacksmith does not hammer forever. The potter does not keep the clay spinning without end. The gardener does not prune without limit. Each trial has its season, each fire its boundary, each chisel its appointed stroke. God knows the measure of your strength, and he will not shape you beyond what you can bear with his grace. Even when you feel you cannot endure another moment, his strength is present, upholding you, carrying you, whispering to your weary heart that the shaping has purpose, the trial has an end, and beyond it lies something glorious. And when the trial has passed, when you step into the next season, you will find yourself stronger than you knew, deeper than you dreamed, more compassionate than you expected. The storm leaves scars, yes, but scars tell stories, and your scars will bear witness that you endured, that you overcame, that God was faithful. Others will look at you and see not the wound but the wisdom, not the trial but the triumph, not the breaking but the beauty of one shaped by grace. And in that moment, you will realize that what once felt unbearable was, in truth, the very hand of God shaping you for something beyond your imagination. There is a mystery that hangs over the waiting and the trial, a veil that covers what we cannot yet see. It is this, that when the moment of unveiling comes, when the silence and the chiseling and the fire finally yield their fruit, the weight of glory will not only surpass the pain, but will make sense of it. The story that felt fragmented will be revealed as whole, the steps that seemed random will be shown as ordered, and the trials that cut so deeply will shine with meaning as jewels set in a crown. For you were not being forgotten in the shadows. You were being prepared to carry a treasure too heavy for untested hands. We must understand that God does not waste his shaping upon trivial destinies. If he is pressing you, it is because he intends to pour something through you that requires strength to carry. If he is allowing shadows to touch your path, It is because he is preparing you for a radiance so great that only one tempered by darkness can bear its brilliance. If he is stretching your soul with longing, it is because he means to fill you with abundance. Do not mistake your present struggle for your permanent story. It is only the shaping ground for something far more vast. The day will come when what was hidden will burst forth, and you will see that all along you were not wandering aimlessly, but were being led into a glory that could not be reached without the road you walked. Think of a tapestry viewed from behind. To the eye that sees only the tangled threads, it looks chaotic, meaningless, a snarl of colors crossing one another with no design. But when the weaver turns the fabric around, the picture emerges, intricate, beautiful, perfectly ordered. Such is our life under the hand of God. From where we stand, all appears a tangle, a confusion of joys and sorrows, blessings and burdens, beginnings and endings. But when the tapestry is revealed, when God turns the work around, the threads will show a design more glorious than we dared to hope, and the very knots we despised will prove to be the points of strength, holding the whole together. You see, the unveiling will not be merely the granting of what you asked for in prayer, nor the fulfilling of some earthly ambition you long held. No, it will be something weightier, something eternal. It will be the revelation of who you have become under the shaping of grace. It will be the realization that God was not only preparing blessings for you, but preparing you for the blessings. For what use is a crown if the neck cannot bear its weight? What use is a promise if the heart cannot hold it? What use is glory if the vessel cracks beneath it? And so he shapes, he strengthens, he tests, he refines, until the day when the unveiling comes, and you find yourself not crushed by the glory, but radiant within it. We live in a world that longs for the instant. It craves quick reward, quick comfort, quick answers. But the glory of God does not fit in the small frame of our impatience. His glory is too weighty to be microwaved into existence. It requires depth. It requires time. It requires the labor of heaven's slow hand. And when at last it appears, it will be nothing like the shallow prizes the world offers. It will not be a trinket that fades with the years, but a treasure eternal, woven into the very fabric of your soul. You will find that the glory is not only around you, but within you, that you yourself have been transformed into a bearer of light, a witness of God's power, a testimony written not in ink, but in the scars and songs of your life. Have you not noticed how glory reveals itself most fully after shadow? The dawn is most breathtaking when it follows a long night. The harvest is sweetest when it follows the toil of sowing. The victory is most triumphant when it follows a hard-fought battle. In the same way, the unveiling of God's work in your life will be most radiant because of the shadows that preceded it. You will see the contrast and understand that the trial was not in vain. The night was preparing you to recognize the dawn. The hunger was preparing you to savor the feast. The sorrow was preparing you to taste the joy. What once seemed meaningless suffering will shine with meaning, for you will see how it all fit within the story of glory being written in you. The scriptures speak of a weight of glory, and the phrase itself is a mystery. Glory is not light, it is heavy. It is not a feather to float upon, but a crown to bear. It presses, it fills, it overwhelms. To carry such weight requires preparation, and that is why you have walked the road you have. Every silence, every trial, every shaping was to prepare you for this weight, lest it crush you instead of crown you. And when it comes, you will realize that it was worth every tear, worth every step, worth every moment of the long road. For glory, once seen, makes all else seem small. Even now, in your present moment, you can feel the stirrings of it, can you not? The faint sense that you were made for more than this, that your story is not finished, that something lies ahead greater than what lies behind. That sense is not illusion. It is the whisper of eternity in your soul. You are right to believe that something big is coming, for God does not shape without purpose. He does not chisel without vision. He does not refine without intent. You are being prepared, and when the unveiling comes, you will step into a glory that is both gift and calling, both promise and responsibility. And in that moment, you will see with perfect clarity what you can now only glimpse in faith. That every shadow was the shaping hand of love, every silence the womb of glory, every trial the path to something beyond measure.